I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. And here we are, back in the Epistle to the Romans. This epistle is primarily Paul trying to explain why there should be no division between Jew and Gentile among the saints. The Jews are not better for having started in the law of Moses, and the Gentiles are not better in the fact that they were chosen and not Israel. Neither one is better. They are equal. Those who believe are all equal in the faith. Those who do not believe are all equal in unbelief. That's the message. And now we pick it up again. We're going to continue reading now in chapter 12. In this video, we have a Joseph Smith translation. And what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. Romans chapter 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and every one members one of another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering. Or he that teacheth on teaching. Or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that sheweth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. This whole chapter is summed up in that second verse. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And the rest of it is just explaining what this means. This is a list. This is how a Christian should act, how a true believer in Christ should behave. And he starts off again very similar to the Corinthians when he's talking about the gifts of the Spirit. I think it's the Corinthians, might have been Thessalonians. But not everybody has the same gift, but we are all receiving the gift from one Spirit. We are all one body in Christ. And it's the same thing, much more condensed, but it's the same thing. And he's saying, look, whatever your calling is, magnify your calling. Are you called to prophesy? Prophesy. Are you called to teach? Teach. To exhort? Exhort. Do all these things and do it in humility, in diligence, in these attitudes of foster these character traits of meekness and humility and gratitude and diligence, and do all these things in this way. And not just among the Christians. He does say to prefer each other. In other words, if you have some work that needs to be, say you have a job, I need to get my lawn mowed. I'm willing to pay somebody $10 a day to just come out for 1 hour and mow the lawn. Now, of course, in modern economy, $10 is nothing, but you get the point. Now, if I need to hire somebody to do that, I don't go to a non-believer first. I see if there's a fellow saint, a fellow believer in Christ. And if he needs the work and is willing to do it, I give him the job first. Now, if I can't find somebody within the community of saints that can do the job and is willing to, then I have to hire from outside that community. But as long as they can do it, as long as there's somebody within the community that can do it, I should hire them. Same thing with any project. Anything that I need to do, if I've got it in the modern day, I need to get my car fixed. Is there somebody in my local ward who is a mechanic? Well, then I take the car to him first, before I go to anybody else. If he's got an auto body shop, I'm going to go to him first, because he is a fellow saint. Now, if there is nobody there, me personally, I can do a lot of the work myself, and I will go to other members and say, look, I've got a job that I got to do. I can do a lot of it myself, but could I get some help? And I can even pay you a little bit if you'll come and do me a favor, do this work for me. That's what he's talking about there. And then the rest of this is treat everybody equal. Don't seek for vengeance. Don't try to justify yourself saying, they deserved it. They're my enemy. We shouldn't be helping them. One thing I remember is I lived in Joplin in 2012 when that tornado swept through and destroyed half the city. And one of the buildings destroyed was our church building. It was the Stake Center. Afterwards, we were invited to meet in the building for the community of Christ. That was a great help to us until we got a new building. I think we were meeting there for about 1.5 years before we could get a new building. And that's the kind of thing he's talking about here. If there's a natural disaster, if a local church, a Baptist church maybe, their building gets destroyed in a fire, are we going to allow them to use our chapels for their Sunday meetings? As long as it doesn't interfere with us, why not? We can't say, oh no, they deserve it. They are not of the saints. They deserve that. We're not going to help them. Paul is very much against that attitude here. That's all I have to say for now. But there are 2 Joseph Smith translations here, so let us take a look at this. In verse 2, the King James says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." The Joseph Smith translation corrects this, but is transformed by the renewing of your mind. I'm not sure that really makes sense, but there is no change in meaning, although I'm not sure about the grammar. Anyways, we have also verse 9, which starts off in the King James, "Let love be without dissimulation." And the correction is just, "and love without dissimulation." Now that word dissimulation is a bit odd and not very common. What it means is to conceal or disguise something by altering reality, by presenting a false reality. And what I think Paul is talking about here is the love you show to others should be real. It should not be a concealment of your true feelings. You shouldn't harbor negative feelings but put on a show of love. It should be a genuine love. We're going to leave that here. We're going to pick this up in chapter 13 next, so I will see you there.